my name is Alex Gosser. This is my presentation for chemistry, and I will be discussing mercury pollution in the ocean. So I just want to start off just kind of generalizing mercury's impact in the ocean. I just think it's important to start here because just focusing on the impacts of things. There are so many different influences that will impact us and pertaining to chemistry with various elements. Each one has good and bad impacts on our lives. So understanding and giving a little more context into each one and how it may affect you will hopefully help you realize some things that you may need to cut out of your life and change so that your body can be functioning at an exceptional level. Mercury seeps into oceans and threatens human life and marine life, and its danger has been underestimated for thousands of years. Mercury's presence will always exist, and scientists are working to better understand how it harms the ocean, marine species, and people. Current relief efforts that I will be discussing are in global ocean and coastal region waters. What my main point that I want to convey is that mercury pollution in the ocean persists, posing a serious risk to ecosystems and humans' health. With the known contributing factors, monitoring and targeting management are crucial to reducing its impact. And a few topics that I will be discussing are the overall contributing factors, the impacts on human health and animal health, and the benefits that we have and can utilize from marine life. So we're going to start out with the impacts in the environment, because there are many different factors, and each region around the world will require and need different things to effectively reduce the different levels of mercury in that region. So I just want to start out showing just mercury and how it spreads and how it is in our environment. It is naturally occurring and exists in multiple forms. We're going to be looking at the organic emissions of mercury. This can stem from volcanoes, deposits that are found in the ocean and on land, fires, growth of plants, and erosion from mercury-containing materials. And we'll be focusing more on the ocean and the deposits and the erosion, since they directly correlate to the mercury found in the oceans. Just the overall presence of mercury, try to give a timeline here. Mercury will last in the water for about 20 to 30 years compared to the atmosphere, which is about 1 to 2 years. So there's a big overall difference right there in the time that it lasts. And from about 1990 to 1996, you saw a decrease in mercury levels, but since then it's been kind of stable. And over time, scientists are predicting for it to increase over the next hundreds of years slowly, so that shouldn't worry too many people, but ultimately gives people time to understand and find ways to limit this and the exposure for people. And since mercury lasts so long, and it makes it easier to observe and research compared to the atmosphere. So since mercury levels have remained fairly steady, scientists are currently focusing on how to reduce it in different regions for people and fish that are exposed to it. Some of the challenges when limiting mercury levels is understanding what each region needs. due to different factors due to climate, just the geographical landscape there. Each region will have different amounts of mercury there. So sitting there taking, geography check, looking at it, you have to understand, okay, what does each region need? One problem with a common compound is MEHG, and this is a difficult in bathenic zones, which is a mystery. I won't dive too deep into that, but just something out there that shows that there still needs more work to be done to further improve information on mercury. And we need to understand how mercury spreads among fish, as that directly correlates into humans through consumption. We will get into that talking later about the bluefin tuna. Some of the regional efforts found from some of my sources state that the knowledge of relative sources of mercury input could offer manager insights into variety of mercury sources to a specific site. So just understanding each region will require a different approach to limiting the levels. So just knowing the different factors that will limit mercury levels and to try to control how it spreads and find the best way to reduce it. There are various creatures that will naturally break down and control and contain some of the mercury to lower levels around. First, we will be looking at the Liliga eteclia, which is a creature found in rocky coastlines that scientists have found and used and has been pretty successful so far. So we're just trying to focus on natural methods to reduce that provides valuable insight into effective ways to clean polluted coastal environments. And just looking at this, I decided to look more towards a natural method because that prevents pollution from unnecessary devices that are created, which will create, could have emissions of different elements that have a negative effect. And it's kind of been helpful to sit here and kind of look into this and see, it's increased my understanding and helped me understand chemistry better. Just to see different factors. That I wouldn't even sit there and think, using a natural method compared to another because of the emissions that are created from that. So using the Lilia teca, it currently research has been done for mercury, but it has been found that it will also help with other metals. So that is another avenue. So the current studies show that it's a good indicator for finding and showing areas where mercury pollution, or where the levels are very high compared to others. Just looking at the creatures, and they will break down mercury compounds and store the element in its heptapancreas. So looking there, they will have these creatures, and if their heptapancreas is full of mercury, as a lot of these are, they know that this is a heavily polluted area. And scientists can also use this to improve research on how it may affect the creature's body, as it did damage cells due to the mercury. Now we are looking more into the bluefin, as this is big predator in the ocean, so we can track um, just along the food chain, from small fish to big fish as it consumes, and you get kind of a buildup, and you will see higher levels in this fish that will affect, eventually humans if they consume it. So we're gonna dive a little more deeper into that. As I said, it was a top predator, so you can just see how levels increase with the size and the age of the fish. We have found that they have very high concentrations of methylmercury in their tissues, and that increases the longer they live. So, using this, scientists can track how mercury transports from the fish and into human. Mercury accumulation rates in the fish provide a means to compare mercury bioavailability among geographically distinct populations, investigate trophic dynamics of mercury in marine food webs. Main exposure comes from the form of methylmercury coming from fish consumption. So by the time when humans they are eating fish, we can track and see that methylmercury is a high source of the compound that is found. And currently, regulations have been made when catching the bluefin tuna and choosing whether it's the right size for sale. There's different size and regulations that they have to meet so that we can limit the mercury that is exposed to human consumption. Now, looking at the effects of mercury on human and fish health. Let's look at the effects on fish. Low mercury concentrations in the ocean still lead to genetic, biochemical, physiological, morphological, and behavioral changes in fish. Some of the negative effects will stunt the growth rate, and it'll also have spinal deformities, brain damage, and will limit reproduction. Some of the negative human effects are somewhat some of the same, and once again we're looking at methylmercury, a compound that can cause neurodevelopmental, cardiovascular, and respiratory disorders. So just how it can help other people, just limiting excessive seafood consumption and making smart seafood choices will limit your mercury exposure. In conclusion, mercury pollution remains a widespread threat in our ocean, endangering both marine life and human health. As scientific understanding deepens, recognizing the sources and effects of mercury is essential. Equally important are region-specific efforts to manage and reduce the exposure, from tracking mercury in top levels to exploring natural methods of reduction, are ongoing research that continues to guide the way. Continuing monitoring, public education, and international cooperation is essential to protect ocean health and the well-being communities that depend on it. And originally, my research started more focused towards looking at the ocean and the health there. That was until I realized that it had such a big effect on humans as well. So just realizing that, just wanted to do the best I can to try to bring some awareness to that, and who knows, where this will take me, with a passion or a desire to dive deeper into this, and the understanding from this can help with pushing forward and continuing to help and improve other humans' lives. Here are my works cited. Thank you very much.